nice features is our map table, because you need to know where you're going. So you pull down this panel here and you pull out the map table. The full map of the United States, and it's epoxy. But it's not just the map table. As you see, it's divided into multiple sections. You can remove any one of these panels and there's storage underneath. So we've got different size storage for dishes and silverware, and it's held on by magnets. All right? By being held on by magnets, you ensure that there's no rattling, because the magnets will hold it nice and tight. And then when you're done with the table, you just simply slide it back in and it's out of sight. Below that you see the sliders for getting into the garage area, and you can see right there is the drawer slide, so it makes things nice and convenient. And you can also easily remove these if you had to put a 2x4 or something through, something long that you're picking up at the store. So it makes it really convenient. The cushions are upholstered. Thanks to my wife and her mom, professional upholstered, they turned out awesome. It was really interesting to watch them do these and getting all the measurements just right so that the piping would be on there correctly. And they even put a zipper in with a flap, because they know in the future we're going to have to unzip these and be able to clean them and be able to put them back in there. Not only did they do this one right here, but they also did this larger one, and they turned out excellent. So they already know that when the next van build comes along, they got a job. So thank you guys. Hopefully you're up for it when we start building the next one. Next to the bed and the oven, lift this up, and inside there is the 4-gallon water tank and the filters. And UV sterilizer for the recirculating shower system, and the other 16-gallon tank that I talked about. This panel right here is also on magnets, so if you open this drawer right here, you can easily just take this off and have full access conveniently to change out the filters or do any maintenance that you want to do on the system. Then right next to the refrigerator, between the bed and the refrigerator, is a cabinet. I call it the charging cabinet. This cabinet is here and dedicated to charging all of our electronic devices. I put in 3 cigarette lighter plugs so that we can put in these little chargers. I can upgrade these chargers anytime as technology changes. That's the reason I put in the cigarette lighter sockets. There's also a 110 volt plug right here, which will plug into a surge suppressor. That plug is ground fault protected by one of the other outlets in the van. And these 2 shelves allow me to put in my 2 laptops, camera gear, and other things so that we can charge them while we're underway. It's a pretty big cabinet designed specifically for our laptops and camera gear. It was made to the size that we already know that we need for our existing equipment. On both sides of the bed there are night lights which go on with the touch in different brightness, and even have a red so that you can maintain your night vision. And then they just touch right off. Those are kind of nice. They also have USB ports on both sides of the bed and 120 volt outlets. This cover keeps the heat out and is held up by magnets. There is a steel strip that goes all the way around here that's covered with an aluminum frame. But right here we have a marine hatch. A lot of people have decks on top of their vans, but then they have to use a ladder to get to them. We can get on our deck by just stepping on our bed. So let's go up and check it out. So that's the hatch, and then this is the composite deck, and up front there you can see our two 200-watt solar panels. The deck is made of composite decking material. It is the one place that I violated my rule about weight. I was going to put wood up here, which would have been lighter, but this decking material was on clearance. I couldn't pass it up, and it'll last a really long time. You'll notice that on each side of the deck there are 6-inch tubes. Those tubes are commonly used to hold conduit. We use them to hold our camping chairs and a rug. That way we're not putting anything that's dirty inside our van. Plus, by putting these tubes on both sides of our van, it hides the view of the solar panels and the deck from the ground. So people have no idea what's up here. We used a Vetus heavy weather marine hatch, and it's held up just by the hinges. This marine hatch is made out of aluminum, and it's not made out of plastic like a lot of the hatches used in RVs. So this hatch will probably last longer than the van itself. Next to the bed, there's a switch panel that turns on the kitchen light or sink light, a vent fan, the bed accent lights, and the overhead LEDs. There's also a USB charger. The van is fully insulated with XPS insulation on the floor, polyiso in the walls and the ceiling. There's a complete set of videos about how I selected the insulation. Then all the wall coverings are either covered with marine vinyl or Duramax or Marathon tweed, very tough material. There's a complete set of videos showing how that's done also. Placement of things in the van is important. We put our magnetic knife rack against our refrigerator. That way, when we stop, there's no way for those knives to make it to the front of the van. We have a large 10 cubic foot refrigerator that meets all of our needs. And behind that refrigerator, there's a large gap for airflow. A big luxury is the large, real freezer compartment. It won't be long before this has ice cream and popsicles in it. Every Ram ProMaster high-top van has this shelf above the driver. This large, very deep shelf is excellent. I added these USB outlets so that we could charge things on this shelf if necessary. Right now I don't expect to use it, but you want to always have options for the future. Then right above the sliding door is a switch panel and the control center for our inverter and our battery monitor. These switches here turn on the kitchen or sink LED, turn on and off the pump for the sink, turn on and off the shower pump, and there's two ball valves. One empties the sink water, the other empties the shower water. Underneath the van, there are two 5-gallon gray tanks, one for the sink waste and the other for the recirculating shower system.